Hi everyone, Coach Sean here. For the past 2 months, I've been doing time-restricted eating. This is where you eat within a certain period of time. Some sources might call this intermittent fasting as well. There's been a lot of claims on social media and from other sources saying that they have lost a substantial amount of weight using this diet method. I've always wanted to try this method, so after my last show in October, I decided to give it a try. Let's see if I was able to lose a substantial amount of weight or maintain the weight that I had before when I first started this diet method. All right, let's check it out. This is how I currently look after doing 60 days of time-restricted eating. Now, I took these photos via a video, so these are just screen grabs. The clarity and the sharpness of the pictures may not be as good as if I had done it using photography mode. These poses were done cold, which means that I didn't exercise or do anything else to enhance the appearance of my muscles. This is how I typically look every day. In these pictures, you can see how my body fat has progressed compared to 1 month ago and 2 months ago when I first started the time-restricted eating diet. You can tell by the comparison from the last picture 30 days ago that I did gain some body fat. So I gained around 2%. Right now I'm about 12% body fat. I'm also back to my starting weight in September, so I'm around 213, 214 pounds. Even though I've been doing a diet for 60 days that greatly restricts the time period that I can eat, I'm still the same body weight and body fat percent compared to a diet where I ate 3 to 4 meals and didn't really have an immense time restriction on when I can eat. Now, even though I've been doing time-restricted eating for about 60 days, so I will fast for about 12 to 16 hours, and then I will eat 2 meals within an 8-hour time frame. So despite doing that, I still gain weight and my body fat percent went up. In September, when I decided to start doing time-restricted eating, my diet was at 3 to 4 meals a day. This is how my physique looked before I started time-restricted eating. It looks a lot fuller and leaner compared to now. If you had watched my previous videos, I had been prepping for a bodybuilding show for about 60 days, so this is towards the end of it. My protein intake during this period was extremely high compared to my normal daily intake. My meals were usually low fat and medium carbohydrates, composed of mostly fruits and vegetables with some grains. So you would think eating 3 to 4 meals a day that either I would be maintaining or gaining more weight compared to fasting and just eating 2 meals a day. So what's going on here? One of the reasons I'm probably gaining body fat and weight despite only eating 2 meals a day and doing 12 to 16 hours of fasting is I'm eating whatever I want. So my thinking is if I just eat 2 meals a day instead of the 3 or 4 that I ate before I started this type of diet, I can pretty much eat whatever I want. And this seems to be common among a lot of people who do these type of diets. They feel like they can eat whatever they want within that restricted time period and they will still lose weight and body fat. But in my case, I have found that to be completely opposite. This is good. Perhaps one of the reasons I gained weight and body fat is because the training volume for my weight training has been decreased by almost half. So before I was doing about 40 to 50 sets per body part per week. Now I'm lucky to get even 20 to 25 per body part. Also, before I would train 6 to 7 days a week, and I would be doing aerobics either in the morning or afternoon too. Now, maybe 3 to 4 times a week, I'll do weight training. Some sources will say that actually exercise, and a lot of exercise, doesn't really help reduce body fat or even control it. But in my case, after I reduced my training load and intensity, one of the results was, of course, I gained more weight and body fat. However, this may not apply to you. Should I go ahead and do maybe 4 to 5 more sets of that? Nah. I don't think so. It's the holiday seasons. I need to take it easy. Another reason that I could be gaining weight and body fat is I've cut my protein intake down by half. Before, I was eating between 300 to 400 grams of protein per day. I would be eating like a whole chicken, a couple cans of tuna, maybe some beef or pork. But now, I'm lucky to even get anywhere from 100 to 150 grams a day. There's been a lot of research studies done that show a higher protein intake every day can actually help reduce body fat, or at least keep it under control from increasing too much. Right now, prices for animal protein is extremely high, so eating 300, 400, 500 grams of protein a day is not a good option for me right now. One of the reasons I cut my daily protein intake in half is because the cost of animal protein has increased substantially for the year 2022. Right now, cost per serving of whey protein is more affordable than animal protein. So I take about 1 scoop in the morning to help me get my required daily minimum protein intake to avoid muscle loss. Oh my goodness. I forgot to close the top. Oh, this is gonna be a big mess to clean up. It's also possible I'm not building any more muscle mass. The more muscle mass you have, the more energy you build, pretty much doing anything. I'm also doing less aerobics. Before I would do it 6 to 7 times a week. Now I'm lucky to do it 3 to 4 times a week. Another reason why I cut down my aerobics every week is because my knees were starting to hurt from doing weight training and intense aerobics frequently throughout the week. Another reason that I could be gaining weight and body fat on this type of diet is my carbohydrate intake is a lot higher for each meal compared to my fat and protein sources. When you consume carbohydrates, they spike your insulin levels very fast. Proteins and fats do not spike insulin level as quickly and as high as carbohydrates. I've also noticed this with my new clients when they come to me trying to lose weight. Even though they've done fasting or other type of restricted diets, they still have high body fat levels for their height and their age. When I look at their meals, the majority of them, I would say 90 to 95% of them, even though they're not eating that much per meal, 60 to 80% is all carbohydrates, maybe some fats, and very little protein. Is this a reason that maybe why we gain body fat is because we are eating extremely high carbohydrate meals? I don't know. I really can't say for sure, but this is what I observe in myself and in my clients when we do high carbohydrate meals. So maybe something that I could do to get my body fat and weight back down is to go back to how I was eating before I started this diet, which was a high protein, medium fat, low carb diet. Now, after explaining all of that, do I really want to eat this? So some of the drawbacks that I see being on a time-restricted diet and only eating 2 meals a day is that when I wake up in the morning, I have very low energy. So it's very easy for me to get irritated. I find that things are a little bit more difficult. During my workouts, if I don't eat a lot of carbohydrates for that first meal, my strength is a little bit lower and my endurance is not as good as maybe eating 3 to 4 times a day. Simple exercises like a bicep curl feel more challenging to do. And weight that typically feels light for me feels a lot heavier than it should be. I also need to be careful if I'm going to be doing long workouts. So let's say if I'm going to go on a hike and the hike is kind of challenging, I need to make sure that I'm eating enough carbohydrates before the hike so I don't feel dizzy or weak during the hike and I'm able to finish it. I think this might be unique to me because of my height and how much I weigh and how much muscle mass I have. I just need more calories just to function normally. And of course, doing intensive workouts as well as other physically demanding activities, you need to eat more food, consume more energy sources. I compensate for the lower calorie intake by increasing my caffeine. And I usually get this from black coffee and energy drinks. However, that sometimes causes palpitations or some jitteriness. So it's a very uncomfortable feeling. I will continue this time-restricted diet for another month. And actually, as of this video, I'm on day 77, so I'm almost done with the 3rd month. I'm gonna try to go to 6 months with this diet. There has been some research studies and of course, anecdotal sources that have done this type of diet, but they tend to be short-term. I understand because of cost, and of course, it can be uncomfortable. Like I explained earlier in this video, there's some changes being done to the body, which maybe some people are not used to and they can't tolerate it, so they cut the diet short. So I will go to 6 months, or I'll try, and of course I will put out a video every month showing my progress. Now, what have I learned from doing 60 days of this type of diet? I know that myself cannot eat whatever I want during my 2 meals. If the calories exceed my daily maintenance calories, well, it's probably gonna get stored as body fat if it hasn't been stored in the muscle and liver and other places. Perhaps I need to go back to counting my macronutrients and my daily calories to make sure I'm not going over. I guess I was trying to compensate for eating whatever I want with more exercise, but most of the exercises was weight training. Believe it or not, we don't burn a lot of calories weight training, most of us. When you do exercises where you're sitting down, or perhaps you're using machines, or a lightweight, or you're just targeting 1 or 2 muscles, you're really not burning that much energy, even if the weight feels heavy or challenging to you. And what I've seen from my many years of experience being a personal trainer and in the gym, most people's workouts are not intense enough and they're not doing it properly to burn a lot of calories. A ton of research has shown that combining a calorie-restricted diet with frequent exercise is the most effective method to reduce body fat and body weight. I've always used this method to prep for my bodybuilding shows. Of course, you can watch my other videos and check out my IG channel to show that it really does work. I know I need to increase my daily protein intake. Before, my meals were protein heavy for many years. I've been doing this since I was a teenager, since I joined the military. But this year, the price of animal protein and some vegetable proteins have gone up a lot. So it's a bit impractical right now to spend more money on protein because I'm not prepping for a bodybuilding show and I'm not trying to gain a lot of more muscle mass. I just want to maintain what I have now, and actually I'm trying to get my weight down too. But I want to avoid excess body fat and weight gain, so I need to increase my protein intake a little bit more. Let's see if adding that 1 scoop of whey protein will help out. Whey protein has been shown to be very effective at helping to lose or maintain body fat and body weight levels. I know I have to do more aerobics to help burn the excess body fat on my body, especially around the abdominal area and my legs. When I start aerobics and I do more frequent aerobics, a lot of the fat around my abdominal area, my hips and my legs decrease a lot. Not so much by just weight training. I noticed that it doesn't really help out in my case, but doing a lot of aerobics does help bring it down. And lastly, I want to do a lipid profile score and a fasting blood sugar test because I want to see if a time restricted diet with fasting helps control high LDL levels and triglycerides. Last year I had an issue with high LDL levels, but I just used a regular diet, 3 to 4 meals a day, and I watched what I ate to help lower those scores. Let's see this time, since it's already been 60 days, if doing this diet has helped me maintain normal levels or even dropped it to optimal levels. Alright everyone, that's it for this video. My 60-day progress from time restricted eating. Of course I will put out another one after the 3rd month. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. You don't have to subscribe, but please hit the like button. It really helps me out. It's very easy to do. Click like, and happy holidays. Took me a while to make this video because of the holiday season, but I want to wish you all out there a safe and joyous celebration. Until next time, stay safe, keep learning. Aloha.